Hey there, it is me, Lisa the Love Coach here, certified professional love life coach and founder of LoveQuestCoaching.com. And I am going to deliver a beautiful discussion that was inspired by a young lady who reached out to me and asked me for some advice. So I want to start recording my podcast, because I am going to shed a little self-love on lovely young Miss Logan from Utah. 14 years old, this girl. Here we go. Hey there, and welcome to another episode of The Love Quest with me, Lisa Concepcion. And today I'm going to give a little bit of advice and some wisdom and some real talk to a 14-year-old girl who stumbled across my information online, saw that I was a love coach, and decided to write in through my free love life assessment. Miss Logan, age 14, from Utah, says that everyone says that she's amazing, yet she has not had a boyfriend and she really wants one and needs one. And she says, "What's wrong with me? I just want someone who's cute and funny and athletic." And I never had a boyfriend. I never had a relationship ever. And she says that she wants love. Now, this jumped out at me because typically the people who take my free love life assessment are usually much older. I would say the youngest people I've ever gotten was probably like 23 years old. Maybe a little younger, like 20, like that college age. And I always like to respond to these. I always feel that regardless of age, if somebody has the need to search themselves in that way, then they deserve a response, right? So here's a little girl, 14 years old. I mean, she's not a little girl, she's a young lady. 14, and she's saying, and this is the thing that really reached out to me and gripped me in my heart, because I get what this is. I remember being 14 and I remember feeling this way. Everyone says that I am amazing, yet I have not had a boyfriend and I really want one and need one. Okay, so let's take Miss Logan. And mind you, I'm going to preface this by saying I am child-free. I'm not a mom. I decided long ago in my early 30s that I would parent a dog and not a human. At least not in that point of my life or this point in my life, but I have learned enough through life to say that God has a plan for you, right? So you can think you're living your life one way, and then God's like, yeah, try this. I'm going to give you this, and you're going to rise above this. So I never say never to anything, but I am going to turn 50 this year, 2021, I turned 50. And at this point in time, I do not see myself taking on role of parent. Not to say I would never be parent to anyone, I don't know. But for right now, this is where I'm at. But I do believe that as a grown-up, as a mature adult woman, I am part of a global community, and therefore it is, I guess, a responsibility of sorts to look out for the youth and be a source of wisdom, a listening ear, someone who can give some advice, because you never know. Just paying attention and giving respect to a younger person and not just blowing them off as, oh, you're just 14, you don't know anything of anything, that might impact them in a certain way, that they take that lesson or they take that advice and they run with it, and it can impact them for 10, 20 years down the line, right? So you don't know what this little girl, 14 years old, is going to become. And so if I have a little morsel, a little droplet of wisdom to give her at this young age that she then takes and runs with, I don't know. But let's say that happens, it could be a really good thing, right? So I always say in this career that I have as a certified professional life coach, I always say, if someone has a question for me, or if somebody has any kind of struggle, anything they're dealing with, I'm always available to lend a listening ear, hold space for them, and kick around a brainstorm, and offer some wisdom and some info that might empower them in some way. So here's my take and what I would love little Miss Logan, 14 years old, precious girl from Utah, to know. So if I was sitting in front of Miss Logan and we were out, let's say, I don't know, hanging at like a Ben and Jerry's having some ice cream, I would say to her, Miss Logan, beautiful girl, who told you, where did you get this idea that you need a boyfriend? Where is that coming from? Now, she didn't tell me a whole lot, but I would imagine that when you're 14 years old, you're probably around 8th grade, and that's when all the pretty little girls in school start to get little boyfriends. And they start to have their first encounters with, kissing and whatever. And I could be wrong. It could happen way earlier. I do not know. But for the case of this, I would say to lovely Miss Logan, where did this come from, this idea of needing a boyfriend? So what I encourage parents to do when they start hearing their daughters talking about, oh, I need a boyfriend, instead of shooting them down, ask why. Ask them, that's interesting, what makes you think you need a boyfriend? And let them express themselves. Hold space for them. Don't shut them down. When you shut them down, they go behind your back and they go get a boyfriend and they end up getting knocked up. But when you say, lovely Miss Logan, where did you hear this? Where did you get this information that you say you need a boyfriend? What's going on with that? Tell me. Well, everybody at school is starting to have boyfriends, so what's wrong with me? Everybody says I'm pretty and I'm smart. I do good in school. I'm polite. I'm a good kid. I'm pretty, whatever. And give her the opportunity to really get to the root of what's going on. Lovely Miss Logan does not really need a boyfriend. What Miss Logan needs is to understand how to cultivate worthiness within herself, and that it doesn't come from external sources and forces such as boyfriends, such as grades in schools. Her worthiness comes, period. You wake up in the morning worthy. Why? Not because boyfriend says so or parents say so, but because God says so. And the sooner you can get that clear with your kids, the more self-reliant emotionally they're going to be, and the more they're going to get connected to something higher that's going to guide them, and they're going to trust their own intuition, they're going to trust their own sense of self, guiding them and saying, you know what, I don't really know if I need a boyfriend right now. I don't think I do. I think I'm having fun with my friends. I'm doing well in school. And yeah, there are some boys that like to flirt with me and they buzz around me, but a boyfriend? Like, I don't even know what that means. And that's why it's so important to have those conversations, to be open. This little girl came to me, well, everyone says that I'm amazing, and yet I have not had a boyfriend, and I really want one and need one. So this little girl already at 14 years old is connecting her amazingness needing to be justified by having a boyfriend. Meaning, her parents probably tell her she's amazing. Her friends tell her she's amazing. Yet, none of it lands for her unless she has this boyfriend. We want to get to the root of why that is, because, my loves, that is the beginnings of codependency. And so when you hear your kids starting to say things about, well, I need this and I need that, and it's in order to feel abundant or approved of or valued, they might need, important word, certain things. And this is the opportunity for you to dispel that myth, because that's what that is. That's a myth. They don't need that hot jacket at the store. They don't need those new sneakers. They don't need the new hottest phone. Yeah, it's nice to have all of those things, of course, but that's not where their worthiness is coming from. And so any chance you get to tell a young person and remind them that their worthiness comes from something greater, that loves them no matter what, that believes that they are precious and special and valuable, and they need of nothing. They need of nothing because everything they need is from inside. So Miss Logan, if you ever come across this podcast and this video, which I'm going to share with you personally with a letter, I want you to know that, my love, you do not need a boyfriend at all. You are amazing, and everyone is saying that you're amazing. And you know what? This is an interesting thing. You say you really want a boyfriend. Okay, it's important to understand why you want the boyfriend. What is it, and get very clear on this, what is it that you want to have in your life? What the things that we want, right? We want them because we believe we will feel better in the having of them. So there's a part of you that believes that you will feel good, that you will feel better than you feel presently if you have a boyfriend. So what feeling are you trying to get to? Now later in this, she says, I want love, right? So she's a little girl who's looking outside of herself for love at 14 years old. And so Logan, girl, beautiful, precious Logan, you are love. Just for showing up. Just for waking up in the morning, your eyes open in the morning, your head comes off the pillow, you are love. You are loved, you are love inside, and you exude that love to the world around you. And from there, you magnetically attract friends and maybe a boyfriend if your parents think that it's appropriate and that you're ready and that, you know, this is a thing that is approved of with your parents. I do not know. But this thing of wanting love, I really want you to understand that the number one relationship that you have is the one with yourself. Love comes from inside, and then you give it as a gift to somebody else. So what I would love for you to do is get into a place of gratitude. And whenever you feel thankful about all the wonderful things that you have going on in your life, you are going to understand how loved you are, how blessed you are, how good things come your way. And that's powerful because that is your doing. You're doing all of those things just by showing up in a happy, grateful spirit. And so when you show up that way and you go to school and you're like, hey, and you're saying hi to people and you're friendly and outgoing and nice and doing well with your teachers and doing well in school, and I would imagine now you're doing homeschooling because it's COVID, but the deal is your attitude is everything. So when you have a great attitude, you're just emitting all the love that you have inside, and then more love will come to you, and then you give it and you get it and you give it and you get it. And my love, where are you feeling a lack of love? Is it with your parents? Do you feel misunderstood? Do you feel like you can't tell them stuff? Do you feel neglected? Maybe they're too wrapped up in their own thing and they're not paying enough attention to you. Explore what it is that you need and what it is that you're feeling. You're allowed to have your feelings. You're allowed to feel sad and scared and uncertain and all these things. And it's important that you are able to express your feelings with total freedom and support. That the grown-ups in your life are there for you to support you and to hold a space for you without any judgment, so that you can say, hey Ma, I'm feeling like kind of lousy because everybody says I'm so wonderful, yet I don't have a boyfriend and I really need a boyfriend. I want a boyfriend and I don't get why I don't have one. And let that be a discussion and explore why that matters to you so much. And I wish that we can have a conversation. Again, I would never overstep the boundary of your parents and the respect of your parents. But if you find this video and you watch it with your parents, then, you know, leave it to them. Maybe it's a conversation that they will have with you. Maybe they'll be inspired to sit down with you and say, Logan, my love, I didn't know you had this pressure at school that everybody has to have a boyfriend. What is going on? You feel left out because you don't have a boyfriend. Let's talk about that, right? What does it mean to have a boyfriend? What's the significance of it? What does it mean to you? Why is it so important to you? And it could inspire a beautiful conversation about what it means to be a partner in a relationship. You can start having conversations about the parents, the family, how things work, all of these things, these normal conversations that unfortunately parents don't really have with their kids. And so then they talk to their friends, they go online, they start typing things into YouTube, and someone like me pops up in their feed, and it's my job as a business owner, a mature woman, just somebody on the planet who wants goodness for the up and coming generations, to hold that space and to encourage conversations between the parents and the kids. Open, harmonious, joyful conversations, no judgment, just I want to know you better. You're my kid, you're 14, I want to know you better. I want to know what you're going through now, at this juncture in your life. What is important to you? And those types of conversations bond you, make you get even closer. It gives a platform for the child, the teen, to feel I can tell my parents anything. I can go to my mom with anything and I won't ever be judged. She'll always tell me the straight deal. She'll give it to me straight, but she'll let me work it through. And I tell you what, as a coach, the things that sustain, the things that stick in people, and I had to learn this the hard way, the things that stick in people are the things that they come to on their own. If you guide them and you give them a listening ear and you don't judge and you ask a few questions and you let them speak and you let them say, Ma, yeah, you know, I felt like I needed a boyfriend, but now after I talked about it with you, I don't know if I need a boyfriend. I think I just need to change my friends, or I don't know. I need something else. I need something for me. I need a hobby. Maybe I want to do a different sport. Maybe I'm just bored. Maybe I want to write a book. Maybe, I don't know. But I thought I needed boyfriend, but now I redirected this and I don't think I need a boyfriend at all. And the arrival to that on their own is everything. Because then they can make some powerful decisions for themselves, right? They could be like, you know what, now that I think about it, I don't think I want a boyfriend. I have softball season coming up. I have this coming up. I have soccer coming up. I have all these busy things happening with my friends. I have 4 birthday parties coming up in the next 3 months with all my friends. So these are the things that you want to try to do, is get them thinking about their lives and what they have going on, and why do you want this boyfriend? Tell me about that. Tell me more about what's going on with this desire to have a boyfriend. Notice, no shutting them down. No, what's wrong with you? If you bring a guy around here, you're 14 years old, you're too young for that crap. No good. You're going to shut them out. You're going to make them feel wrong for having any kind of question about anything. They're going to end up going to friends instead of you. And I know this is really difficult. And I know it's different when they're your kid. I hear that all the time. Lisa, but you don't understand. It's not your kid. And I say, no, I understand the kid's perspective because I was that kid. And I know what that is when you have something that you want to say to your parent and you cannot because you don't want to get in trouble. Meaning, I don't want to get yelled at. I don't want the wrath. I don't want the bullshit. I just wish I can go to somebody who's going to give it to me straight and hear me out and listen to me and validate me. There's nothing wrong with you for being 14 and wanting a boyfriend. I wanted a boyfriend when I was 14. I didn't have one. I didn't have my first boyfriend until I was 15. And then what happened was he wanted to have sex with me and I wasn't ready. And he would pressure me. And then one day I just said, if you're going to keep pressuring me, I don't even want to see you anymore. And I stood my ground and I felt really good about myself doing that. But this is the kind of conversation that you want to have. You want to be open like that. So this way you can have these lovely bonding conversations where you want your adult child 10 years down the line to be talking with friends saying, I was able to tell my mom anything. I was able to tell my dad anything. They never judged me. They never told me what to do. They asked me how did I feel about that or what did I think about that. And I would work it out on my own with their guidance. And they would give me things to think about, like this example, this 14-year-old lovely girl, Logan. I would say to her, well, Logan, let's think about that for a second. Okay, you want to have a boyfriend. Got it. Let's say we look at the next, 90 days of your life, right? We just started the new school year. What do you have going on in the next 90 days? And is a boyfriend a match to that? And what do you want to do with this boyfriend? I don't know. I just want somebody to hang out with. And in this case, this little girl flat out said, I want love. She wants love. And when you are full of love and you have friends and your home life is good, you're not seeking love out in a boyfriend. You're sharing love. And you're inviting people over. And you're like, I don't know if I'm ready for a boyfriend, but Ma, can I have this boy over for dinner? I don't think he's boyfriend, and I don't know, I just like him. And just start to let them understand their own feelings and be there for them and hold space for them. Be like, yeah, your friend can come over. Sure, we're gonna have a nice dinner. Why not? Have them come over. I want to meet your friends. I want them to come here. And then you listen and you see how they are together, and you see, oh, they're flirty and whatever. Okay, but you keep an eye on it, and you ask them, so how did you meet each other? And you get into their world, and you treat them like their world matters to them. Their perspective of their little world of junior high school is everything to them. And when you shut it down and you make it small, they withdraw. But when you agree with them and you ask them questions and you understand that in their little world of 8th grade, 14 years old, that is their world. That is all they know. And it's important to them. So have that level of compassion, have that level of empathy, of curiosity, and really open up the conversation. More conversation is good. Shutting things down, laying law, no good. But you can have boundaries, right? I'm not saying, oh yeah, you're gonna have your friend over and your dad and I are gonna go out to dinner and you and he are gonna be alone in the house. No, you're not to be alone in the house with a boy until you're 18 years old. And even then, you don't like it, you can move out. You can have roommates. You can have roommates, honey, and go work and afford your own life and do whatever you like. Once you're 18 years old, you are free, honey. I encourage it. You want to move to another state, study in a different school, you don't want to go to college, you want to work, honey, whatever you want to do. But right now you're 14. These are the rules of this empire that your mom and your dad are running, right? We love you so much. We want to keep you safe. We want you to be okay and protected and guided. And you can have anyone over. You can have anyone over. I want to meet all your friends, as many of your friends. They're welcome here. And there will be boundaries, though. So we have to have a sense of parenting going on. Can't just have it, you're going to have people over the house when we're not here. Not going to happen. But this is the kind of conversation where you establish the rules of the home, the values of the home, how we live here, how we all interact, and how we operate. And that is what this little girl will take with her out in the world, so that she's like, no, I'm loved at home, honey. I know where my love comes from. My parents love me. My siblings love me. We have a house of love. And if anybody comes into this house, I have to be very picky about who I bring around my family, because we are tight-knit, we look out for each other, and we're welcoming of everybody, but not just anybody. And that's going to raise a little girl who's going to be very discerning and very judicious about who she's inviting into her home and into her heart and into her life. And that is how you teach a girl young to become interdependent, to start to have standards. Another question for this lovely little girl. So tell me about the boys at school. Like, you say you want a boyfriend. Okay. Is there like a kid at school that you think is like cute or something? Yeah, there's this guy. He's 16. I'm 14. He's older, but he's so cute. Yeah, why is he cute? Well, because of this and that. Let them talk. Get them to talk more. And okay, and why is that important to you? And well, he's just nice to people. Like, he's always saying hi to me, and he's nice to my friends, and he's just nice. And the other day, I dropped something, and he helped me pick up my books. Like, he's just a polite, nice kid. Well, why don't you invite him over? Oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't. Hey, why not? Listen, you can have a few friends over. This way, it's not so, creepy. Oh yeah, I guess I could do that and see what he says. Do it. Just say, hey, listen, I'm going to have some friends over my house. My mom's going to barbecue. We're going to go in the pool or whatever we're going to do. And you're more than welcome to join if you want to come, and see what he says. And if he doesn't, next time. But otherwise, you'll never know if you don't try, right? And start it off like that. Friendship, right? Teach. I want to meet everybody. I want to know all your friends. Maybe he'll be a boyfriend, maybe not. We'll discuss it. What does a boyfriend look like at 14 years old, right? I want to encourage you to share love and feelings and nice to people. However, I also want you to understand that you have a life of your own and goals and things that you are going to want to do. And so we have to be very mindful of the choices that you make, because, my love, the choices that you make now can impact you 10 years from now, 5 years from now. So you want to really look at, where do you want to be, Logan, when you're 20? What do you want to do? Where do you want to live? What do you want to be doing for money? Do you want to be in college? If so, what do you want to study? Nothing wrong with having these kinds of conversations about goals, because from age 14 to age 18, that's like this fast. And after age 18, they're going to be deciding where they want to go to school. If they want to go to school, do they want to work? How? All of these things. So why not start using this I need a boyfriend conversation to tell me about your goals? Like, I have no problem with you being in a relationship, provided that we're clear about what that looks like, right? If there's got to be some boundaries and rules and standards of the home. And, kids are going to be kids, and they're going to be sneaky, but you don't want them to feel that they can't tell you stuff. You want to create an environment where they can come to you with anything, because that codependency thing is rooted in not being allowed to feel your feelings, not being allowed to express yourself openly and honestly, and being shut down. When you're shut down, you withdraw, and then you go outside yourself, outside the family, outside your parents who are supposed to guide you and give you that love, to give you the wings so that you can fly. And you start to go outside of that. And that's when you start looking to external things to fill you up. So we want to make sure that we really, really nip that in the bud. So I adore coaching young people. I love it. I feel like the self-love message cannot be driven home enough. We are not teaching our young people how to love themselves enough, and we see how this is playing out in the world. They want everyone to coddle them and solve their problems for them, and that is not how the world works, unfortunately. And the sooner they learn that, the more empowered they will be to make solid decisions for their lives, to make sure that they are very secure and clear on the goals that they have. When I was 15 years old, and I mentioned earlier, I had a boyfriend, first boyfriend, 15 years old. And this boyfriend was, typical 15, 16. He wanted to have sex, right? And I was pretty cute back then. I had, the braces came off, the hair started growing, like it all came together in like a summer. And this was the summer that I met this boy. And he was pressuring me to have sex and pressuring me to have sex. I couldn't tell my parents this. I didn't feel like I could, so I kept it to myself. I told my friends, and I already had my position on it, right? I wasn't ready, and I knew I wasn't ready. And I also knew that in 3 years, 18, I would be heading off to college. And I didn't want any mistake Oh, all the dogs are out barking. You hear those dogs in the background? Wow, it's the time for the dogs. I'm recording this at the time. Taz, you want to be on the podcast? Wow. Okay, so anyway, yes. Hey! Cool it! So, as I was saying, 15 years old, I had my sights set on what my life was going to be 3 years later at 18. And I wasn't going to let any boy ruin my chances of the kind of life that I knew I had a vision of for myself. So I encourage parents to dream with your child, dream with your kids. If your kid is telling you at 14 that they want to be a designer and they want to go to New York and design clothes and learn how to do clothing, get them a sewing machine right then and there. Help them to get an online store started, honey. There's no reason why you can't make this a project and tie it to goals, tie it to generating income, tie it to empowerment, right? That's an amazing thing. Imagine a little kid, 14 years old, expresses the interest that they want to design clothes, and you say, okay, let's do it. Let's learn how to do it. I'm going to get you a sewing machine. We're going to go on YouTube. We're going to learn how to cut fabric. We're going to learn how to do the whole thing. How amazing. You don't know if that little girl, by the time she's 16, could be having an entire line of fashion out of the basement of your house, out of the garage of your house. This is the world that we live in right now. So this little girl who says she wants a boyfriend, sit down with her and ask her why. And this love that she feels that she needs so much, be that love to her. Be that understanding, be that listening ear, so that she's not looking outside of herself for a boyfriend just yet. And you know what? If she says, oh, I have a guy at school, I think he's cute, and I think he likes me too. Hey, why don't you have him over? Why don't we cook a thing? Well, together we'll cook and we'll have a fun time. We'll have a fun night. We'll play, I don't know, we'll play charades or something. We'll have a good time. We'll play music, hang out, shoot pool, whatever. And I know it's like, I don't want to hang out with my parents, though. All right, look, you can watch a movie in the room by yourselves. We'll be out here, all good, but door will be open. I will make some snacks. It's all going to be supervised, right? It's all going to be sorted out in a way that shows guidance, protection. I am your parent. These are the rules of this house. Honey, 18 years old, you don't like the rules, save your money because you can be on your way. All good. I love you no matter what. I love you no matter what. You're my daughter. I love you. Whether you live here till you're 30, which is not going to happen, or you leave at 18, or somewhere in between. However way you want to go, you're going to go. I'm not sitting here raising you to be sleeping in your little girl room until you're 40 years old. I'm not doing that. That's not my goal for you. That's not my ambition for you. I want you to spread your wings and fly and be free and have a great life, right? So the decisions that you make and the decisions that I guide you in making, they're your decisions, but I am here to guide you. And I love you no matter what. That kind of talk is going to raise an empowered, kind, take no bullshit daughter. So that's my wish for all the little girls out there. Know your worth. You are beautiful and special just for showing up. Just because you wake up in the morning, boom, you're worthy. And that worthiness comes from inside. It comes from God. It comes from your connection to the higher thing that loves you eternally, no matter what. I am Lisa the Love Coach. You can find me at lovequestcoaching.com. You can check out this podcast. There's a new episode up every week. If you're just catching it now, feel free to binge. Find me on social media, Instagram. I am at Lisa the Love Coach, and I look forward to catching up with you. And if you'd like to do a free love life assessment, you can head on over to lovequestcoaching.com. Check that out, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks so much. Until next time, bye.